welcome back. Last term, yay. So this is the topic for this term. Monsieur Henri Rousseau. Was that good? Who knows this name? Do you? Good. Well, you'll know the paintings, I think, because they're almost in every school in the state. So, does this look familiar? No. Okay. All right.
So how cool is it?
But it's good, huh? Yeah, isn't it good? So, Henri Monsieur, Henri. So, just back to him, looking very dapper in his studio and his interesting hat and his great moustache. You can see the size of the painting next to him. So he painted really large paintings. He ended up as a professional painter, but basically he was a public servant for most of his life. So he was known as, I think, the postmaster or something like that. But he was fascinated with painting jungle scenes. And he painted a lot of them. And he also painted a lot of animals in his jungle scenes, many of them attacking each other. So we'll have a look at a few jungles. So the interesting thing is, this is a picture of France. It doesn't look very much like a jungle. And Henri Rousseau actually never went to a jungle, so he never saw a jungle. He painted mostly from his imagination and from trips to the zoological gardens and the botanical gardens. So he made most of these jungle scenes up. Oh, another animal attacking another animal. And, you know, for him, I think the jungle was something really exotic and far off, and it allowed him to exercise his imagination and imagine these sorts of places. So this is an interesting painting. I mean, first you see the animals attacking each other, as he has in a lot of his paintings. And then when you look closely, there's a lot of other animals in that painting. So see if we can count how many animals are in there.
What can you see?
Yeah, how many?
And what are they?
Come on, let's have a number.
There's a prize.
It's a Mars bar.
No.
Akari, how many do you think?
5.
A little bit higher, I think.
6.
Maybe a little bit higher. I think it's around 7. Did anyone see the huge bird on the left-hand side, hidden behind the trees? So this enormous, strange-looking bird with a big beak. I don't know what sort of bird it is. He didn't just paint jungle scenes, he also, of course, painted himself, as most artists do, and his friends. So this is a self-portrait. Friends.
Isn't that cool?
And, you know, weddings, probably commissions. And some sort of fantasy scenes. This reminds me of a Chagall, actually.
I think he painted his dreams too, didn't he?
I think, well, it looks like a dream. And just things that were happening, I think, in France around that time. So air travel was new. So he managed to include every aspect of air travel in his paintings, all at once. So he's what is known as a naive painter. So he wasn't trained to be a painter. He just loved to paint.
I think he was he in his 50s when he started?
Yeah, it was pretty late.
50s, yeah.
It was pretty late, but he did become a professional artist. And many classically trained artists thought he was a genius. So here we are, more jungle type scenes, more animals, a few natives.
But if you actually look at some of the leaves, look at the way he's handled them. They're and the you just want to climb into them, but also look at the way, if you look at the leaves, the form of them too. So he's actually done these quite well. There's not just one source of light, but he's really modelled these forms. Look at the detail on some of those leaves, and it also feels like you can walk through the jungle as well, but there's also this pattern and rhythm and repetition in there as well. There's so much going on, and they just kind of come alive. You just want to sit in them and crawl in there and try and count the animals, don't you?
Yeah, everything is painted in really sharp focus. So there's no kind of atmospheric distance in this. You know, nothing gets kind of dim towards the back. Everything is sharp. Oh, another animal attacking another animal. So around this time, France would have had colonies in probably Africa, South America. So news would be coming back into France about these places. And they would have seemed a very long way away because they didn't have air travel then. It was difficult to get to. They would have to get on a ship to get there. So they were very exotic and exciting places with animals probably that most French people had never seen. Some of his, as Christina said about painting dreams, some of his paintings kind of have a mixture of a dreamlike quality and of a jungle scene. And so these are a few of those. More animals.
Look at all the different shapes of leaves. Look at all the different types of plants he's got there, because he did go to the botanical gardens, didn't he? So you can imagine that he's there, and we've got kind of a bit of a garden in the room today. So you can imagine how he would have, all of these plants would not have been next to each other like that. So he's not copying, he's basically taking all of these different plants, all of these different things, and bringing them together into a painting. How much fun.
So we're going to have a lot of scope to do many different things this term, in terms of design, in terms of colour, mixing, in terms of the drawing, the stylising, the environment. So there's lots of different approaches we can take to using him as an inspiration for our work. Interestingly, no jungle here, but a desert. And France had colonies in North Africa, so I think there was probably information about the deserts and about North African environments. Also, I mean, I don't know if it's an influence, but also around this time, 1860s, was the publication of The Origin of the Species by Darwin, to get a bit technical. That could have also influenced his art as well. So I think that's the last painting I'm showing of his. He did hundreds of paintings. I haven't put them all in here. Oh, here's another one. Somehow, we've got a couch in the jungle. I think it's a couch. He probably didn't know how to kind of incorporate this woman into a jungle, and thought, well, a couch will do.
Yeah, I think he had I think that one was one that he said was about a dream or something.
It was a dream.
Yeah, and it's like, it's imagining like she's having the dream or something. I can't remember, but it's the it's almost like you can imagine you're there in your own lounge room, and this is what's inside your mind. This is where your imagination can take you, and that's the great thing with the arts, isn't it? All the arts, poetry, visual arts, everything. We can go somewhere different. So, which we really needed during the COVID lockdown. But yeah, so it's just that idea that you can create your own world, really.
And the other thing, these are beautiful paintings. They're not expertly finished paintings. So you don't necessarily have to be, a wonderful artist who can draw photorealistic lions or people. They're still beautiful paintings because of the work that's been put into them and the amount of time that's been spent on them, and the design quality, the thinking that goes into constructing them. So you know, a painting like this is within anybody's reach here. Everybody can do similar paintings to this. It may not be this complicated and large, of course, but everybody here is able to do something similar to what he did.